we really want to focus, especially with a piece of homework today, on the chakras at the palms and the feet, because like in life, like in your physical form, we would say in the 3D, 4D, even 5D, you are utilizing many times these parts of your body. To walk from one place to another, you use your feet. To pick up anything, to feed yourself, to do most anything in this world, you utilize your hands for balance, for literal creation. Hands and feet aren't accidents in the fact that they are utilities, an extension of the soul, if you will, to utilize and create. We will call it prana or life force, or even jelly, the stuff of creation. So we invite you to take your palms and make a little fire here. And take a couple deep breaths. And just take a moment and see if you are aware that you had chakras in your palms. Maybe again, a little brief history of when you learned, if you are aware. And then when you're ready, you just release, feel the energy there. And now imagine a chakra right here that coincides the same way that these 7 main chakras coincide with your spine. Imagine one right there in the base of the palms, or the flat of the palms. And see if you can use the heat you just generated, sensation you just generated in your nervous system to expand your understanding of the chakra right there at the palm, both palms, one set. See if you can feel any sensation. Maybe even a specificity of where those chakras are. Low on the palm, high on the palm, central. In Sanskrit, we could call these the hasta chakras, hasta meaning hand. And just take another deep breath and notice what you feel. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. Now, in our understanding, this chakra does not deviate in the same way that the 7 chakras are nexus points correlating to the physical spine. We would say that these hasta chakras do not deviate from the physical representation of the hand. We're talking about non-physical points, but it is there in the physical approximation of your hands. Now, there is another set of chakras that are just beyond the palms. So again, if it's easier for you to feel sensation, you can rub the palms together, maybe even counterclockwise or the opposite way that you did before. Sometimes it's easier to feel something non-physically when you have a little physical sensation to guide you. And just take another big deep breath. Now we invite you to tune in again to the hasta chakras, the ones that correlate right there in the physical proximity of your hands. And then imagine another, they might be spinning balls of light. They might be stars. You might feel them and how far they extend out from you. But we would say in our vantage, this next set of chakras that live by your hands, the physical proximity of your hands, are mobile. So 2 sets of chakras at your hands, one that remains at your palms and another set that is free to move. So they might not be tethered. In other words, you might experience them moving. You might experience them moving out from your palms or up and down or in circles. Just take a few deep breaths and see what you experience. Notice that they are in relationship to the hasta chakras at your palms. Nice. One more big deep breath. Wherever you're at, whatever you experience is perfect. And then if it feels right to you, inhale. Exhale, clap and release. Nice. So that is something to play with. We'll come back. That's a piece of homework to play with the Hasta chakras. Now we're going to pick up the feet and play with the Para chakras. So if you're seated to the place of where you can access the base of your foot, or even if you're a little bit of a yogi like Randi and you want to sit back and literally pick up your foot and just, again, bring that physical sensation into the foot. Creating a little fire at the base of the foot if you can. If you can't access your foot easily, you can always just tap onto the floor and let the energy of the floor sort of wake up the nerve endings there. And one more big deep breath. Maybe you've been aware that you have chakras at the base of your feet, maybe not, just notice. And then pick up the other foot if you can, or make sure you're stomping both feet so that there is a waking up of both feet. If you have 2 feet. And then ideally, Randy's going to shift her position here. You place both feet on the floor. And then notice what you feel, just like the Hasta chakras at the hands in Sanskrit, we call these Para chakras, Para meaning foot. Notice the ones that live at the base of your feet. 10 points to the person who can guess where this chakra mostly connects to. This chakra connects to the earth most of the time. And so again, just noticing what you feel, how it resides physically correlating to the feet. And then just like the hands, you have another set of chakras that are able to move from the feet. And once again, they move most frequently through the earth's energy fields. So again, you might perceive something that stays close to the feet or that moves. 2 sets at your feet. Notice how that shows up for you. Another big breath here, side out. And then if you would like the challenge to take an inhale and exhale, clap your feet. Woo, 10 points. 10 points to everybody. So we just wanted to lead with that little bit of a somatic example of these chakras that exist. And there are more than just the hands and the feet. There are more than just the 7 represented chakras through the sushumna or the spine. And so we want to talk a little bit about the purpose of these nexus points, because from our vantage, which is highly energetic, we would say that every time that you are connecting with another focused frequency, we like to use the word focused frequency for source or all that is, in choosing to become someone like Randi. So focused frequency could be a plant, could be an animal, could be a creative thing, could be something that maybe has animation, like a rock, or even a book, if you will, something that has been birthed by source or all that is. So a chakra is always formed when you're connecting to another. We say another because from our vantage, we are all each other, we are all one, connecting with ourselves. So in other words, if Randi is connecting to Asha, and she's having a conversation with Asha, or even if she's remembering a conversation with Asha, or even if she has a projected conversation with Asha, there is a chakra unique to Randi and Asha that is formed. So in other words, her heart or her head, her emotional field, whatever is active in that connection is, or utilizing a chakra that is shared between her and Asha. So in other words, Asha's perception of this chakra, maybe it's subconscious. It was certainly subconscious to Randi before this conversation. This is news to Randi as well. that chakra is a co-creation between these two people. And so Randi's perception of that chakra is going to be different from Asha's perception of that chakra. But we would say the energy is a co-creation. Whenever you are connecting with another, there is a co-creative nexus, a co-creative portal that is created between you two. And so imagine the amount of chakras that are out there. Imagine the amount of chakras that you have created in your lifetime with every individual connection you have made with a focused frequency. So we could narrow it down to just humans to make it simpler, but we want you to be aware that it's the flora, it's the fauna, it is those that have passed to other lives, to other dimensions. It is those that the tiny bits of consciousness in every piece of sand. From our vantage, it is all animate, it is all spirit, and it is all source. So it has consciousness, all of it. So you have created an infinite array of shared portals with every connection that you've ever experienced. Okay, maybe that makes sense. That makes sense. I've connected, I've co-created. So what do I do with this portal? And we would say this portal opens you up to a connection with this person with, number one, we would say the priority of this portal is for love and understanding. So in other words, there is something that is becoming timeless in this connection. So you could say it's almost like your grandmother that you remember growing up. You have we'll say Randi has a connection with her through their hearts, but we would say it's actually more technically, energetically, the chakra between Randi and her deceased grandmother that is fueling her with understanding and love. So from our vantage of energy and the way it moves and works, the more you begin to feel into that portal, the more the sovereignty is maintained, and the more the empathy can move through a co-creative experience. We want to say that again. Especially because you all have chosen human lives and human forms, you are agreeing to an exercise, a playground of focused frequency. Randi appears to be separate from this group. And so she is maintaining the illusion of separateness through having a physical vessel. Because you all are choosing these physical vessels, there is a sovereignty of empathy. So in other words, Randi is always going to experience her reality and is literally creating her own world, the way each of you are doing, through her focused frequency, through her, we don't want to use the word limited, but from our vantage, it is purposefully limited to perceive what it is to be Randi, remembering that she is all that is. So there is, in each of these connections of each of these God beings that you are, there is a co-creative space where Randi can connect to Asha. And Asha, thank you for being a willing participant in this example. Randi can connect to Asha, and yet Randi remains Randi and Asha remains Asha. So that this portal, this nexus, becomes Randi Asha. And again, Randi's perception of this portal nexus can only be from her focused frequency in this body, something different from Asha's focused frequency in her body, something different. But there literally is a merged, shared consciousness. When you commune with a blade of grass, there is a portal, there is a chakra between you and that blade of grass. We tend to feel like, oh, I'm feeling the blade of grass. Yes, you're feeling the blade of grass, technically through the chakra, because the blade of grass is only ever going to be what it is from its own vantage. You're only ever going to be what you are from your own vantage. But when you both tune into that nexus point, there are literally meridians and nadis of energy between you two. That's where the love and understanding is truly stored. So we want to talk about this concept because we want you to start to pay attention to it is like the Akashic records. It is like the living library, as some of you all have been studying in these morning meditations. there are these data points, if you will, these little portals of where these individual relationships are stored. And of course, they connect to larger and larger and larger networks of chakras. What we want to leave you with is the understanding that your understanding of another is stored in that perfect portal between the two of you, that perfect chakra of who you two are together. So when you start to play with the chakra that exists between you and another, always the door opens when you start with love and understanding, love and compassion, relating to that other person with curiosity. Then you are able to understand more about that person and who they are and where they have come from. And we would say it's a simple exercise in empathy. You all have been doing this over and over and over again. But if you can particularly visualize this nexus portal between you two, then just like Sammy explained, it goes from crayon suddenly to these intricate webs and highways of light. So we're going to do this together in partner work later in this session, but we want to open a door to expand your empathy. And we've used the term telepathy a little bit more because empathy can sort of happen to you. I'm feeling something. Is it mine? I don't know. I just had a phone call and, what is this feeling? So empathy, from our understanding and how Randi has experienced it in a human form, can sort of come and go and is. We like the term telepathy as directed empathy. Telepathy as empathy as a tool. So in other words, if you're doing telepathy, you're literally using your mind to connect to another. We would say lots of telepathy is using these chakras between people. That is more of the technical route from our vantage of how it's done. So telepathy, and we want to keep with empathy instead of telepathy, because we want you to continue to think and feel through that feeling space, connect through that feeling space. It's much more powerful, and you will go further in dimensional experience when you connect through the heart and through feeling than through the mind. It's possible through the mind, but you need juice from the heart. So why not go to the source? So especially when you find, because if you ask for it, you will find it. You are a powerful creator. When you find that partner to play with, and you're going to have a partner today, but when you find that partner in life where you can say, oh my gosh, watch this video. We learned about this thing. Let's do some exercises here and literally go through the chakra between us. There's a different experience available to you to move through the wormhole that the two of you co-create. It happens subconsciously all the time. The same way the 7 chakras along the spine are working in subconscious ways. We've all experienced that, right? Oh, I had no idea, but I can now go to this. As Paul said, I can go to the 2nd chakra and I can go way back into a past version that was wounded there. That chakra holds that information between time and space. So the chakra between you two, between you and that willing partner, whether that's family, whether that's romantic, whether that's a platonic friend that is excited to play with you, whether that is a blade of grass. We would say it doesn't matter. When you come into that conscious relationship of play with these chakras, then you create a ripe opportunity to notice where you are in other dimensions of reality. That's beyond time and space. To how you exist and how you teach each other and how you learn from each other in this dimension and many others, to how you are gifting each other constantly, and that gift reverberates through you and feeds through you. Also the way that you hold each other. So in other words, there is the same way that the chakras in your physically correlated body are feeding you, these chakras between each other are the storehouse of energy between you. So in other words, it's sort of like always getting this connection. And yet now with some awareness, you can start to move yourself through that wormhole and see through that other person's eyes. It's never going to be Asha's eyes that Randi sees, unless she's in much more expanded dimensions, and Asha gives her full permission. That's why we say sovereignty, because Randi has to give permission at a certain level for Asha to be able to see through her, or vice versa. So in other words, in this example between Randi and Asha, there is a chakra that Randi Asha sees, that Randi is going to see the world through Randi Asha and Asha Randi. So there are infinite ways that you can journey through this shared chakra. It's a portal in and of itself. We say journey because many of you take these trips. Many of you are expanding in consciousness, and the same way that you can journey into the portal of your familiar chakras and experience life through the eyes of those portals. We encourage you to start to experience life through the eyes of your co-creative relationships. We're going to say that one more time. We encourage you to experience life through your co-creative relationships, and it becomes way more of a shared experience. It deepens your understanding and acceptance. It deepens your love and connection in every waking moment. If you spend every waking moment and you use your hasta chakras, especially the hasta chakras that move, if Randi is going to pick up this mug and she's going to bring her conscious awareness to the two sets of chakras at her palms that we just investigated, and hold this mug and take a moment and breathe, she will have a co-creative experience with this mug that is unlike any other time that she has sort of mindlessly picked up this mug. Do you see what we're saying? So in other words, you can get really trippy with your life experience in understanding that there is a timeless storehouse of information and feeling and experience and source living as the combination of what you and this connection is. Let's take a breath. There's a lot here, and there's a lot more unfolding. And so we want you to know that even as we go into this next portion, we are here with you. We want you to know that we are just as equal to you in the group consciousness that we have created. It is not that we are bringing in Vyrrlah, and Vyrrlah's way out there, and I don't, what was that? I don't even know. Vyrrlah's not here to guide me through. We would say that we are equally as brilliant as you. You are equally as brilliant as us. We are only saying the words that we are saying because you know this, and you have your own particular way of relating to it. So we honor the fact that we get to play with you as an equal, as a co-creator on, we would say, an essentially creative level, that we come together because it is our delight and our pleasure to create with you and as you, and in this particular recipe of this particular moment. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for your curiosity, and thank you for continuously creating this playground we call life. Namaste.